Jem is my name, no one else is the same. Jem is my name. Jem.
Golly gosh, Christy Marks, you write some dense damn episodes for a show, a cartoon for children. I don't recall in my 30 Days of Netflix episode, I don't think I actually mentioned anything from this from episode 4 here. So I can talk all about it. One small thing I wanted to point out that I really appreciate. All of the characters have different faces. A lot of times in animation you'll run into the problem, especially with female characters, of them all having the same damn face. Not a problem in this show. All the characters have, some have long thin faces, some have, rounder faces. Everyone looks distinct. Sometimes the characters do go off model. They obviously did not have a lot of money for this show, but I really do appreciate the variety in the character models. And as I did mention in the 30 Days of Netflix episode, the characters change their clothes and wear different outfits day to day. I love seeing that. So in this episode, the Holograms are invited to Vegas to do a show. The promoter hired the Misfits to open for them and he knows about the rivalry. He did that on purpose just because he likes seeing sparks fly. This episode, Jerica is still moping about, oh man, Rio's gonna be mad. I want to tell him, but he's gonna feel like I made him the fool. And yes, Jerica, that's exactly what's going to happen. I mean, he'll probably need to go take a walk for a bit because he's going to be a bit upset. But this relationship actually, the whole circumstances regarding this, two-person love triangle tends to be working because it wasn't something... Now, the whole idea of JEM being an alter ego doesn't make any sense in the first place. I don't know why it needs to be an alter ego or why it needs to be a secret. In the comic book, Jerica has enormous stage fright, and she uses the JEM persona to be able to perform on stage, which makes a little bit more sense. Here, no idea. She didn't intend to trick Rio in the first place, but she did, and it's one of those lies that the longer it goes, the harder it is to break. So it's dumb, but you can at least kind of see the perspectives of the participants, and that's nice. Let's see. So they go to Vegas, and the Misfits actually have a pretty good plan to sabotage Gem of the Holograms. They lure Aja away using Susan. Ashley is her name, the little orphan kid who absconded with the Misfits. So she's there. And they use her to lure Aja away, and she crawls into the baggage compartment of a bus, and then out the other side. Aja crawls in after her, and the Misfits close the baggage compartment doors, which I guess the bus driver just left open and wasn't going to bother closing them, trapping Aja in the bus, and off the bus goes to New York. Their plan works. It's creative. And as I just mentioned, it works. And they don't almost kill everyone on the bus. So, it doesn't work that well because Aja just bangs on the inside. And they're like, thump, thump, thump. Is there a flat? And she ends up a few blocks away and has to run back. So, Pizzazz, the lead singer of the Misfits, corners Rio while he thinks they might be, have Aja hogtied in their dressing room or something like that, which honestly would not put it past the Misfits, so you can't blame them for thinking that. So he goes and checks out their dressing room, and Pizzazz is like, bedroom eyes, if you managed us, we'd be better for you all. Sexy voice I'm using. Wink, 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 or blink, blink, blink. Bat the eyes. That's the feminine thing. Bat, bat, bat. And he's like, you're not fit to breathe the same air as JEM. And he storms off. And Pizzazz says something like, it's so amazing. The guttural yell of frustration that she emits is wonderful. So Eric Bad Guy has another plan here. And his plan is to have that goofball who lit the orphanage on fire, put a bomb in the mansion, and tried to murder the holograms in Paris by dropping a gargoyle on their head. Hires him and 2 other goons to rob the casino that they're in Vegas performing, and plant the money in the holograms' dressing room, framing them. Okay. Granted, while the holograms are on stage, so kind of hard to imagine that they did that while on stage performing the entire time, but as the police point out, maybe you're an accomplice. Now, backing up a little bit, they find out that Aja made it back, and so Pizzazz and Roxy, the 2 of the Misfits, are bad-mouthing Susan. Ashley. Oh, that useless little brat. Rawr, rawr. And Stormer, the 3rd Misfit, sees Susan. Ashley had overheard that conversation, so Ashley runs away, rounds a corner, and hides behind a Gem and the Hologram standee. And Stormer runs past, and then is like, she finds her, she's hiding behind a standee. So Stormer sits with Ashley for a while. And there's a nice little bonding moment. Of the 3 Misfits, Stormer's the purest of heart. None of the Misfits really seem intent on actually hurting anybody, but they are really awful people. Stormer's the least awfulest of the 3. But anyway, Ashley confides that Roxy and Pizzazz scare her, and Stormer says, yeah, they scare me sometimes too.
Don't hurt me. I wouldn't hurt you, Ashley. I'm scared of Pizzazz and Roxy. They'll be so mad. Yeah, they scare me too sometimes.
And while they're hanging out behind the standee, they happen to see the guy and his goons robbing the casino, which is behind a door locked by a chain and padlock, which they managed to break by punching it with a set of brass knuckles. Top security at this hotel and casino, padlock. Which you can just punch away with some brass knuckles. So, Stormer and Ashley actually see the robbery. So when the police have Jem in handcuffs and they're about to lead him away, little Ashley shows up and she's like, no, she didn't do it. I saw the real people who robbed it and I heard them gonna plant in the room. And Pizzazz says, yeah, well, she lives in the same house with them. She'd say anything. And then Stormer, dressed in a full, like, Carmen Sandiego overcoat and fedora with a scarf wrapped around her face, goes,
I'm a mystery woman and I too saw what happened.
with kind of a voice like that.
But I have to tell you in private.
And so Stormer does the right thing.
I can prove Jem is innocent.
First, I've got to know who you are.
I will show you.
She doesn't want Jem to go to jail, I guess. So Stormer's a good one. And she's also voiced by Susan Blue, who did the voice of RC in Transformers and Black Arachnia and Transformers and lots of other things. Go IMDb her, she's great. So they've now hired Eric Bad Guy has now hired a private investigator to find out who Jem really is, because maybe they can use that for blackmail, because the big battle of the bands here is only in 2 days. And the private investigator finds the Gem and the Holograms lair, which is hidden under a drive-in. And he breaks in, and Synergy is all like, intruder, intruder. He says, shut up, and he hits Synergy with a chair, who catches on fire and explodes. So hopefully Jerrica's Synergy earrings are self-contained and not like wirelessly connected to the mainframe Synergy, because otherwise she's out of luck. I honestly don't remember what happens. I guess it's a separate thing. I don't know if this is maybe what it was is a Synergy projected a hologram that confused the private investigator or something, and it didn't really blow up. I don't remember. But we'll see next time on episode 5 of JEM and the Holograms. One more thing I wanted to point out. Early in the episode, Pizzazz or Roxy or someone gets really angry at someone, I think the hotel owner, for making them open for JEM and the Holograms. And she grabs a Misfit poster. She's like, I'm going to hit you over the head with this! And she runs at him, and then she just kind of sets it by the wall. Because he leaves, and I guess he's not in smack on the head distance. And then it cuts, and then it cuts back to a wide shot, and the poster is still on the floor by the wall. Nice attention to continuity. Would not have expected that. Clappity clap. See you in the next episode.
Get to the point.
Perhaps JEM is just a stage name, like yours. Phyllis. Or,
Don't ever call me that!
of course, not Pizzazz.